Hi, Jean. How's it going today?
Good. How are you, Emily?
Doing great. Here we are back at it after a little bit of time off, but this time we're going to recap TIS, NCTC, ACA, the independent show. So
Yeah.
coming back from that and some of the things we learned from other providers and just some of the key things that were discussed at the event. So do you want
Yeah.
to kick us off?
Yeah. I think I was happy to hear from fellow attendees that they were about as excited to go to Florida in July as most people are to come to Minnesota and Wisconsin in January.
So
So
true.
we all shared that. But, we're going there to work. We're not really, I
Yeah.
know a lot of people brought families and took advantage of being in Disney and everything. But, what you and I are going to talk about is our work stuff and,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. So thank goodness for air conditioning and all that kind of stuff. But,
For sure.
yeah, no, like every year that we go to the independent show, I feel like I do come back with some really good nuggets or something that, you can apply in your business. Or for me, I tell my clients, oh, hey, I heard about this at the independent
Yeah,
show.
exactly.
I know that's something you've been thinking about. And so, maybe you want to connect with this person or, hey, I heard this really good idea, what this company is doing. And so I think that's, for me, always the biggest benefit of going to TIS is,
Yeah.
talking to other people, sitting in on those panels, hearing what those other people that are on the panel, what they're doing and bringing those little nuggets back to everyone.
Yeah, for sure. There was plenty of opportunities to network and to hear from other people about what they've done. And maybe us as smaller providers are a little more hesitant on taking that step because we're fearful. Mm-hmm. It's encouraging to hear that it will be okay. And
Yeah.
we're at a point now, probably more than ever, where we need to be more bold and we need to take that step to advocate for what we feel is right. And that's some of the stuff that was shared, I feel like.
Yeah. So, you talked about being bold. There are some bold things that other operators have done in the last year that I didn't know about until we sat in on some of those panel discussions. And so just like an example, Buckeye Broadband, they took the bold step last year and they dropped all the ABC, ESPN, Disney channels, and then they dropped all the NBCU channels. And they're not alone in dropping the NBCU channels. Fubo had dropped them for a very long time.
Yeah.
So, they didn't have the Olympics and the Super Bowl and the NBA All-Star Game. And, they didn't have a lot of those things. And, Buckeye followed suit and told people, here's Peacock. You can get everything that you want on Peacock. And then we're going to lower your cable price. And so it's like, I think a lot of people would go, oh, we could never drop channels. Maybe you can,
Exactly.
like another company's doing it. Maybe you can drop channels. And
so, it's okay, isn't it, to set the stage, knowing that retransmission consent's coming up and knowing it could be a time where you have to make that tough decision. Communicate and set the stage now so it doesn't come as such a shock to the subscribers. I mean, that's really that would help you and give you a significant advantage. And you can educate them. You can consume the content elsewhere, right?
Yeah, for sure.
It's not that it's gone.
Yeah. And, Emily, I'm really glad you mentioned retransmission consent because there were some really good discussions and panels and sessions around the upcoming retransmission consent cycle.
Yeah.
I would say, there was good information and a shared amount of belly aching, about that great process. And I'm being polite when I say belly aching. We'd use a different term if we were sitting around having cocktails. But no, like it was really good. Mike Nelson from ACA, TVA, he brought up something that I think people should really think about. We always say, talk to your members of Congress, talk to your senators, and, things need to change at the federal level. But he brought up that actually we could be also talking to our state representatives and our governors and our attorney generals, especially because the attorney generals are the ones that filed that lawsuit on behalf of the states against the Nexstar Tegna merger, as well as DirecTV. So I think that's something we need to really be doing too, instead of just always thinking about DC, let's look at the local level and where they can help us make some changes and fight on our behalf against some of these crazy mergers and things going on in the retransmission consent realm.
For sure. And honestly, talk to anybody that'll listen, right? At that level.
Anyone that'll take our call.
But we could maybe even partner with our state consortiums and try to find who the person is and how to get in touch with them if we feel overwhelmed and where to start. So I 100% agree. I think that would be awesome and something that I know I'm guilty of not considering or looking into. So I agree. That was great information.
Yeah. And then, for the people who weren't at the independent show, I did see that NCTC is going to have a webinar coming up about this upcoming retransmission consent cycle. So check your emails if you didn't get that, and go ahead and sign up for it. I'm going to be on it too. And
of course,
things you need to know, and things change every few years. So definitely pay attention to that.
And you always look forward to it, right, Jean?
Oh yeah. I'm geared up. Look, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I can. I've been doing this for a while, so I'm ready.
Should we pivot on just overall themes too that came out of the Independence show, such as MVNO mobile? Huge, right?
Yeah.
Still something that people are looking into. There's many options, NCTC having one of those options. But then the other takeaway is, like we've said over and over again, figuring out how to reimagine that bundle and how to create customer stickiness. And the pipe is just a pipe now. And we all need to be figuring out how we can maximize that investment on the pipe by offering more services and also creating efficiencies within the organization, and AI being a way we can do that. But another thing that has come out recently is that there's an AI channel, fast channel.
Yeah.
Is that not crazy?
Yeah. I mean, I think I haven't looked at it yet, but I saw it on the Roku live guide. So I'm definitely going to check it out this weekend and see what it's all about. The initial critics reviews, if we're going to be like looking at the content aspect of it, is that it's kind of crappy and it's not very good. And, so like, I think maybe it will evolve, right? As AI learns, right?
Yep.
So as it learns what people like, it will evolve. But I think the biggest thing is that it has distribution, and, Roku is in like 100 million homes, or like it's everywhere.
Yep.
And so it immediately is available to a great amount of people. Yep. And I mean, for any new channel that wants to get legs, you've got to get the distribution. I mean, that's one thing that hasn't changed, is you've got to be in front of the eyeballs for people to be able to see it and not have to search it out. And if you're right there in the Roku guide, it makes it much easier for people.
And think about the cost savings of using AI to create that content, right? And everything starts somewhere. So if they keep working on it, it's going to be interesting to see how that is gonna play out for creating content. And I don't know. It's crazy times.
Yeah. It does make you kind of question, all right, what am I watching? Who is behind this, and what is behind this? And so it's kind of interesting when you like look at actors who are deceased and now they're showing up, their image and their voice and everything is showing up in a brand new movie or TV show. Like, I don't know. I think it all depends on how it's handled. So crazy, but
any other takeaways from NCTC? I really enjoy the networking, the opportunity to talk to the programmers. It's not always we get that opportunity to get one-on-one time.
Right.
So those are big things for me. The exhibit hall, though, I would say was smaller, gave us an opportunity with the amount of hours that there were for that to network with some people there as well and have some good conversations. Yeah.
No, I heard from a few companies that's one thing they do like about the independent show, is it's the only show that programmers are at, and that's who they want to talk to, because they see a lot of the technical and hardware and those vendors at other shows, but programmers just tend to go to this one. So they really value that. And yeah, I feel like it was, again, really good networking, like you said, always some good takeaways, always learn something. And I think had both of us had follow-up
Yep.
meetings from
Yep.
discussions at TIS, and made some new connections. And so, I mean, I think that's what you hope for any show that you go to, that you have follow-up items, that you have some takeaway, you got some good meetings and networking with people, and that didn't disappoint. So
Yep.
yeah, next year will be probably just as good, I would expect. And
Yep.
first week of August in Nashville, and then
Yep.
what a lot of people said is and then we'll just go right to Denver for
I
straight TV.
know,
So it'll be a
right?
long week for a lot of us, but
And two great shows that you don't want to miss. But man,
yeah,
yeah, being in the same week. Yeah, it'll be
yeah,
a lot.
yeah. So yeah, no, I think it'll be really good.
Awesome. I agree. Well, I think that's a wrap from my perspective. So unless you have any last words.
No, mine too.
Awesome. See you next time.
Sounds good. Thanks.